Hi, I'm Steve Bowen with the STS-133 crew, and you're watching NASA TV.
Good morning, Discovery.
Good morning, Shannon. Thank you for that wake-up music today. We really appreciate it.
View here from the cameras on the exterior of the International Space Station, looking down at the Earth from a distance of 219 miles up at Angola. Shuttle and station are just crossing over the coast of Africa, and will be heading northeast across it towards Saudi Arabia over the next few minutes.
The crew is working there inside the Destiny laboratory. This was the scene of quite a bit of activity yesterday as the crew worked on the carbon dioxide removal assembly, which is located there. There's also another one inside the Tranquility node. We talked about this earlier, but all the different environmental systems on board the station are back up and running in tip-top shape, except for the Electron system. This is the Russian oxygen generation system. It's off in that part of the segment of the space station. But both U.S. carbon dioxide removal assemblies are up and running. The U.S. oxygen generator assembly is up and running. And the Russian Vozduk system, which is their carbon dioxide removal assembly, is back up and running as well. As we continued to take a look inside the Destiny laboratory and also looking back into the Unity module, here's a piece of interesting trivia for you in terms of the weight of the International Space Station. Right now it is at 1.135 million pounds. After Discovery undocks, obviously it will lose the weight of the shuttle, so it will weigh 919,000 pounds, give or take a little. After the Soyuz TMA-01M undocks, it'll go down to 905,000 pounds. And then after HTV is released, it will go to 878,000 pounds. So the International Space Station waffling back and forth between about 800 and roughly 78,000 pounds and 1.135 million pounds now with the shuttle. It is quite a huge complex spread out over several stories and weighing in at more than 1 million pounds.
Good morning, Nicole. Happy Flight Day 11, if you can believe that. And ready to copy Air to Ground 2 payloads.
Yes, it is a happy Flight Day 11, and I did these a little bit earlier. For Glacier, let's see, the forward unit, time 9:58, minus 95 degrees.
Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston taking a live look at the International Space Station. You can see the Quest airlock there, pointing straight at us. That's the permanent multi-purpose module sticking up there, but it's actually pointing down toward Earth because this camera view is rotated. You can also see the Soyuz TMA-20. That is Katie Coleman, Paulo Nespoli, and Dmitry Kondratiev's vehicle. The Progress is there to the right. The crew is busy inside working on some transfer work.
Go ahead, Houston.
Yeah, Scott, we don't have any paperwork for transferring razors on this mission, so
stow them in the broken item CTB 1283 and node 1 overhead 4 Echo 2.
Copy that.
Station Houston on 2 for Paolo. No need to come to the microphone right now, but that CWCI right behind you is in its final fill. If you could just keep an eye on it now and then from the last 8 minutes and make sure it's not getting too full, we'd appreciate it. And Katie, while we've got you on comm, understand you got to rush off and do a spinal measurement, but when you get time, we are ready for the CWCI fill steps 5 and 6, and also looking way ahead in your timeline for condensate pumping. That's like 2 hours from now, but we will be ready for step 5 of that when you are.
You're saying that you're ready for the condensate to be terminated any time. Is that correct?
That's correct, Katie.
Okay, sounds like that could probably wait a little bit, but the CWCI, maybe we should just terminate that before we go over to the shuttle.
And Katie, we would appreciate it if you could disconnect it before you head over to shuttle.
We'd all feel better. Okay, thanks very much. And for the stowage folks, Ursula, for Lisa and all the other folks there, again, just thank you so much. I'll do some cleaning up in HTV in terms of putting those big foam boxes back in there so it doesn't look so undone. But, the plans I thought were excellent, and the amount of work that we all got done as one giant crew was, it was awesome to be here yesterday. People just were, working everywhere. Wrenches were flying. It was just fun, and I think really as much as could have got done because you gave us some really great plans, and we're in just awesome shape for the increment, so thank you.
Thanks very much for those words, Katie.
And again, our live look inside the Destiny module. Some of the last transfers being moved across the hatches. Station Commander Scott Kelly and Mission Specialist Steve Bowen with that large transfer bag moving out. We're just under 47 minutes now from the farewell ceremony for Discovery's astronauts today. That'll happen in the Destiny module, and then the crews will move here into node number 2, through this hatch down into PMA number 2, and through that hatch where that bag is going now, they'll enter Shuttle Discovery's orbiter docking system. Timeline calls for the farewell ceremony to kick off at 2:33 this afternoon. And for Scott Kelly and Paolo Nespoli on the station side, Steve Lindsay and Al Drew on the shuttle side to begin working through their hatch closure procedures. That's scheduled to kick off at 2:48. This camera is located near the deck in the Unity module, looking through the hatch forward in the station, through the lab, and then through the other hatch we can see crew members in node 2 with Station Commander Scott Kelly, who's just come out of the PMA-2. Crew members are ticking off the last of the preparations. The rendezvous tools checkout by Steve Bowen and Mike Barrett is complete. Paolo Nespoli and Steve Lindsay are wrapping up the teardown of the oxygen transfer equipment. Now about 41 minutes away from the scheduled start of our ceremony, which will take place here in the Destiny module.
And Station Houston, Space to Ground 2 for O2 teardown. Looking ahead, when you get to step 4.5, if you'll give us a call, we'll do that step for you.
Only about a half an hour away now from the farewell ceremony. You can see the shuttle crew members and Station Commander Scott Kelly making the best of the time that they have left. And this workout going on now inside the permanent multi-purpose module. You can see that the lay of the land, as it were, is changed dramatically over the course of the past several days as the shuttle crew members and their station colleagues have been unpacking and re-outfitting this module, getting all of the racks in place and getting a lot of the packing materials out of the way so that there is a lot more space available here in the center of this new module. The PMM is 15 feet in diameter and 21 feet long from approximately this camera position to just beyond Steve Bowen in the background. About the same size as the Columbus Laboratory module. Steve Bowen in the foreground, Nicole Stott and Al Drew with taking a final few laps around the permanent multi-purpose module. We're just about a half an hour away from the farewell ceremony as Discovery's astronauts bid their last goodbyes to the Expedition 26 crew before they head back into the shuttle, and the hatches between those two vehicles will be closed for undocking tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock Houston time.
Copy.
And Station Houston on 2 for O2 transfer. Looking ahead, we got a substantial LOS coming up on all loops.
Copy that, Stan. We're at step 4, getting ready to do 4.2 in just a second. So we'll give you that in a minute, and then you can do 4.4 and 4.5 for us.
That's a good plan. We'll be waiting. Looking ahead, step 6.1 we think will not be required.
Discovery Houston on the big loop for Nicole and the transfer brief.
Go ahead, Megan.
Hey, Nicole, I hate to ring the recess bell on you, but we only got about 15 minutes left before an extended LOS, and we have Liz here for the transfer brief before hatches close.
Okay, copy that. Let me run back over to the orbiter, and I'll give you a call.
Thanks a lot.
For the last couple of minutes, we've been watching Mike Barrett and Eric Bowe having last bit of fun inside the permanent multi-purpose module. Station Commander Scott Kelly now leaving. Shuttle crew members have been taking advantage of this wide open space that they've delivered. The addition of nearly 2,500 cubic feet of pressurized volume to the International Space Station. As you just heard, Megan MacArthur checking in with Nicole Stott to remind her that they need one more quick transfer briefing before the hatches close. The farewell ceremony for Discovery's astronauts is scheduled to get started in 26 minutes.
Transfer.
Discovery Houston, I'm on Air to Ground 1, ready for transfer.
In our live view inside the Destiny module, all 12 crew members are gathering together. We try to get everybody set. Farewell ceremony for the Discovery astronauts just about to begin.
All right, well, welcome aboard the space station. We've spent how many days here? I don't know, 7 days, 8 days, something like that. We delivered the last pressurized module. We delivered the ELC-4. We did a whole bunch of transfer, and we outfitted the PMM as best we could with the time available. And Scott, it was a pleasure to be up here. We appreciate your hospitality. We appreciate you putting up with us, knocking your stuff off the walls, and generally trashing your station, doubling the number of people. And we appreciate you guys letting us float down to the service module and getting your way as well. And on behalf of the crew, we had a great time. We appreciate the hospitality and enjoyed the crew meals together. And we're going to miss you guys. And so thanks for everything.
I'd like to say that it was a very successful time on board with you guys. We really enjoyed having guests. This is the first group of guests I've had in about 150 days since I've been up here. And we're going to miss you, but most of all, we're going to miss Discovery. And Discovery has been a great ship and has really supported the International Space Station more so than I think any other space shuttle. And we wish her fair winds and following seas. Thank you.
Final handshakes and hugs as the Space Shuttle Discovery crew members get ready to leave the International Space Station. Shuttle Commander Steve Lindsay and Station Commander Scott Kelly both expressing their thanks to the ground team to Lead Station Flight Director Royce Renfrew. Our camera view now is from inside the Harmony module, looking forward. The hatch in the background leads into a permanent pressurized mating adapter number 2, which is attached to the Space Shuttle's orbiter docking system, and that will be the exit for all of the folks in the blue shirts. And from this view that is pointed down into the transfer path between the two vehicles, you can see over Scott Kelly's shoulder the shuttle crew members moving back onto their vehicle. Once everyone's on the right side of the hatches, Kelly and Paolo Nespoli will be working to close the hatch that we see down beyond Steve Lindsay. That's the forward hatch on the PMA. Lindsay and Al Drew will be working on the shuttle side of that interface, closing the hatch to the orbiter docking system. Shuttle Capcom Megan MacArthur with an update to the procedures for Al Drew and Nicole Stott, who are scheduled to install the centerline camera in the orbiter docking system starting in just a couple of minutes. That's the same camera that was used for the rendezvous and docking and is being reinstalled now so that the shuttle pilot, Eric Bowe, who will be at the controls of the vehicle tomorrow, will have that view available to him as well. And that camera will also be capturing images of the station as the shuttle conducts a fly around. Step 19 of the hatch closing procedure is closing the Node 2 forward hatch. So Kelly and Nespoli now getting ready to move through just a handful of steps here to pull that forward hatch of the Node 2 closed. Once they have removed all loose objects in there, the next step is to perform a hatch seal inspection. Make sure there's no debris so that they get a good airtight seal once the hatch is closed. Space Shuttle Discovery and the International Space Station are 219 miles above the western Pacific Ocean. Just starting a trek across the ocean that will see them make landfall in the central Washington coast. Then fly over the southern reaches of the Canadian provinces. On board, the crews on the two vehicles are in their pre-sleep periods. The hatches between the two vehicles have been closed since 3:11 Houston time this afternoon. Wrapping up 7 days, 23 hours, and 55 minutes of hatch open time between the two. And this is a live look at the International Space Station. The camera located out on the starboard side of the truss. Station's Quest airlock is right in the center of the frame. And near the top, the new permanent multi-purpose module attached by the Space Shuttle crew and unpacked and outfitted by them as well. This view is from 217 miles above the northern Pacific Ocean. Station and Shuttle Discovery flying a bit west of the Hawaiian Islands.